Hi kitty cats. This video is an excerpt from a live stream I did on August 19th, 2025 with my good friend Morgan. Morgan had gotten facial feminization surgery and dropped by to give us a rundown on the whole process, from surgeon consultation to healing up. So I hope you enjoy this short collaboration with Morgan.
Hey.
Hey Morgan, look at you. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am doing okay. So let's see, gosh, so the way you and I met, I think you actually reached out to me, is that right? Did we meet on, Medium or something?
So, yeah, we met, well, first I started reading your articles because I was going through my transition journey. We had a lot of similarities, and so I really liked following along with your articles and your journey of of discovering who you were. And I was going through something very similar, and then when you started kind of interacting with people where I started commenting, and it was a really cool way to just kind of, I'm not alone, right? Which is so important. And I think it's also part of discovering who we are. It's that there's other people like me and I'm not alone in my struggles or whatever, and you helped me kind of when a lot of the other authors didn't. And I read a lot on Medium to the point where I bought a subscription and stuff. And, but yeah, it was really helpful back then. I think that was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
well,
23
2 years ago?
easily. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. That was a lot of. I wasn't fishing for compliments. I appreciate.
No, it's just the truth.
Thank you. Well, who do you want to talk about? You got facial feminization surgery.
Yeah, so
That's
that was
fun
my most
stuff.
And you don't have to have surgery to be officially trans or whatever. I think it's more of a mindset, right? And what labels do you want to prove, assign to yourself? And I think, and this whole journey is discovering who you are and living authentically for me.
Yeah.
And I think
Agreed.
for a lot of people, surgery is kind of part of that journey. And I did it to feel more comfortable in my skin and externally presenting. And then here's the thing, with facial feminization surgery, FFS, it's really subtle, right? So there's umpteen different things that they can do. It's just a collection of small surgeries. And in the end, it has made a difference, especially when I interact with other people. But for me, live through it, it doesn't really seem like it is. But when you take up all the little changes, we as humans are really good at finding little differences. Someone gets a haircut, oh, you changed something, right?
Right.
Unless you're totally absorbed in something else.
Which is possible. Or you're a man, I guess. That's the.
I think there's some men that are definitely observant.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some women that aren't. But I was I've been pretty lucky with the people I've found and have entered my life and who continue to show themselves. It was hard to lose some of the people I thought were, and that's probably one of the hardest pains was for just discovering more about who you are. And I'm I'm the same person. I might just have a little bit different shell, but they're no, I can't do that. And what's funny is a lot of them have certain things in common, but in the end, they weren't comfortable with you changing their perception of who you were.
Right. Right.
And
that is a beautiful way to say that.
Well, thank you. I think, and I've had to do a lot of thinking on this because we have to change our perception of who we are too, So, and I think everybody does. Why do you think so many people have a midlife crisis, or, they're unhappy and they don't know themselves as well, or there might be a billion reasons. But I mean, and in your writings, we're going through that very process. You were having an internal dialogue about who you were, and I could really identify and see myself in that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I won't cut you off.
No, I was just saying, it's don't stop your enemy or your friends when they're doing the things that you want, right? I know that's not a perfect quotation of it, but
it's close enough.
I think this is in living more authentically. I can't put up with people that don't. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's totally fine if they're on their journey. Great. At least they're endeavoring to do that. But people that deny who they are to a point where they're toxic, they're really unhappy with, but they've chosen to continue to live that way. That's kind of unfortunate, right? And that doesn't have to be queer people. It can be anyone. And you look at how many people are unhappy in their job and it doesn't reflect their values or their partner or whatever, it just, and it's, people change too, right? I mean, trans means change, or it means a cross, but it all has to do with like the change of things, right?
Yeah. Transition. Yes, definitely.
And it's sad that we've been politicized, but like, I think what it's all about is people learning to like not tell other people how to live their lives and learning to accept their own. And I think, so for me, FFS surgery is like, is this something that really will get me to a place further along my journey? And after a lot of back and forth, I thought yes. And it was the process of going through it that affirmed that, actually. So even though I didn't know if I had the confidence and the know-how how to do it, it was really like, this is something I want, and I can't do it for someone else. Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not living authentically. And I made that mistake too many times. But living authentically is something the whole world needs you to do, right? Like, how many people would just be happier if they could just change a little something about themselves?
I think everybody. I don't think there's a single person. If you said, look, is there any one thing you would change about yourself? I think almost everybody. I don't think there's one person who wouldn't say yes. Mm-hmm. I know that came out really stilted, but I think everybody would go, yes, I would find something to change about myself. So I agree.
I know you've had a lot of recent changes, and, is there any that you regret or favor the most? Like, what about you?
It's a good question. We were supposed to talk about you, but...
Oh, I'm happy to talk about me, but... This is also talking about people that live authentically, so it in a way...
Yeah, the whole experience, yeah. Because what I ended up doing... Well, Thistle says she's perfect,
I just saw
okay.
that.
All right, there's one. We found one. I don't, I'll tell you, there are a lot of things that I think, especially like changing my, what would I call it? Vocation, I suppose, is the word I'm looking for. I've regretted that. I'm going to say regretted, because I'm like, I'm not making money, yada, yada. And then I look at my life, I think about the way, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say no, and I'm going to tell a story that I was not going to tell, I think, ever. But you brought up a great point. Last night, so I wasn't wearing makeup, and I was wearing glasses. Usually I want to wear glasses if I'm wearing makeup because the glasses kind of mask that, I don't need concealer and stuff like that. But I had taken my glasses off. I was, I was reading, and it's easier for me to read without glasses on. Not the point, but I'm like brushing my teeth or whatever. And I remember, I go into the bathroom and I look in the mirror and I go, oh, and I don't know exactly what it was. My hair was maybe a little different. I don't know exactly, but I looked at myself and I went, oh, I'm actually pretty. And it was without makeup, without everything, and actually said into the mirror, I said, Rebecca, Selena, Amethysta, you are here. And you're beautiful. And those were my two other names. I used Rebecca when I was an undergrad and Selena when I was a graduate student. And obviously now I'm using Amethysta. But it was so interesting to wrap all that up and suddenly go, holy cats, I see myself. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. So there have been like minor setbacks, things that I go, I regret that it started off bad, but like long term, even Thistle says, "Aw." I would say like long term, no regrets, none whatsoever, because I've had moments like that where I just go, "Zoiks." I see myself, and it's so worth it. So,
yeah.
What about you? Is there anything you would go back on? You regret now?
So, you talk about like finally seeing yourself and learning to, it's in a way, it's like learning to love yourself, right? And who you are. I think why else live authentically, right? If you could live as someone else and be happy, cool.
Yeah.
You know, but there's something truly awesome. I think like I've dived into the world and learned a lot of things, but I think the hardest and deepest waters I've ever been is the ones that turn internal. And I've seen other people doing it. And it's like, that's what I saw before I contacted you back in 2023. Like I read your articles and saw you diving deep every week. And like, well, I'm just thinking like what we do is sometimes we do what's been modeled to us and what's been made okay by watching other people do. Right. And then we can become that same thing. And so you asked me, like, is there anything I would change or want to do? Sure, there's all sorts of things. But at the same time, I'm so grateful for who I have in my life and who I am right now. And like the struggles I do have because I've gotten here. And let me tell you, like, there's a couple times that probably I wouldn't have. But there's always some little thing if you can identify to keep going when everything else seems to be shit. And it's that identifying the little things that lead to bigger things, and then you start putting them together in this new idea of who you are. And this is me, and this is truly me. And it's not limited again to trans people. So like, but you have to be able to see it as for the journey it is, right? So, there's a whole bunch of things that are I would call it isolated things if I could put them in. Sorry, I'm just gathering my thoughts. That I maybe would have wished came out a little bit different, but in the end, it led to something else that I couldn't have anticipated. So, in the long scheme of things, I wouldn't have changed anything. But I would love to have more effect on other people, right? And so, like, because I think right now with all the shit going down, and our communities need each other more than ever, and we need that support network to make sure that when we are starting to falter and fall down, that we have somebody to help pick us back up, and we have our neighbors are able to step in and help us, and then community ultimately, right? And so when we're good, we give back, and so on. So I would change my focus on outreach. I spent a long time thinking that I was better being alone, and that I was alone and no one could understand me, when there's several people that have walked in a very similar journey just before that. I would have also gotten a bigger support network earlier on. And
that's a good point.
You should kill some of these people that are like, just kill their chats. They're kind of dumb. But you know what? We need all people, right? This is true.
Right.
I think this world needs all types, but we all can choose to be kinder.
For
and
sure.
That's a struggle for me too, because I hate some of the shit going down. It's really hard to not hate the people, but hate the action.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I'm with you.
I wanted to get back to FFS because I think there was a really important piece here. I chose to do it.
Before we can we actually, let's check out some comments, because there's a whole lot of good comments there. First of all, I'm seeing, you're not seeing this one, but I do see Ash. Good to see you, Ash. I've been loving the videos you made recently. I don't know if you're still here, but if you are.
Hi, Ash.
Good job. I've been loving those. Having a good time watching those. Okay, so we've got a few here. I'm going to go up to, let's see. So Thistle says she loves having the moments where she sees herself or feels authentic, and it's great. Delos, thank you for telling me I'm beautiful. I do appreciate that. Brenda says she's waiting to see herself, but I'm going to tell you, sister, it'll happen. I think it'll happen. I'm confident you will end up at some point at least going, wow, I see. How did I put it? There was an article that I wrote way back where I said, I will consider my transition successful when I see enough of myself to accept the rest of myself, I think is how I put it. Does that sound like me?
You've written a few articles. I think last count I saw was like 400 or something like that. Between all the stuff you published.
Oh gosh, yeah, all the stuff. Yes, probably closer to 5 at that point. But Alyssa says she's happy for me. Thank you. To appreciate that. I think Drace brings up a really interesting question. I'm going to pop it up. Do you think this is an internal perception, or if it's also external and seen by others? Being trapped inside my own skull, it's hard for me to judge. Do you want to take a crack at that first, Morgan? I got an idea, but do you want me to keep it up too? I can.
Sure, yeah, it'd be helpful.
Okay.
So I've always wondered if that's an internal perception. I think we can never anticipate what people think of us, and we always think they're thinking of us more than they probably actually are, right? And so
Yeah.
it's the same. People treat us kind of like how we put ourselves out there. And I know we've talked about this before. You've definitely covered it. So like if you show up and you're confident and you feel like $1,000,000, people are probably going to treat you more that way. There's always going to be people that they're just going to do what they do, but chances are that's true. And so I think like I've for sure suffered like being trapped in my own thoughts and stuff like that. And that would also equate to how I thought people would think of me and treat me. But then I was surprised time and time again when I actually put myself out there and approached people with a little bit of authenticity and vulnerability. And time again, I was surprised. And then that fed back into my confidence and ultimately led to some of my change of thinking and got me out of my skull. And so you have to step out of your comfort zones to get out of your head sometimes. And it really helps to do something that you haven't done before, maybe even just little steps, but that's just my thoughts.
I think I think those are good. I like those because I think it's both. I think that we do. I mean, Drace, this is an excellent question because I think that, first of all, obviously there's some external parts to what we're talking about here. Whether you're getting surgery or whatever, obviously there are external parts, but I think much of it is internal. I'd also mirror what you said, Morgan. I think that so often we think that other people are thinking about us and they are not. They're like, what am I going to have for lunch? It's like a cheeseburger. What am I going to eat? Yeah. Right. Like they're not thinking about us at all. So I think a lot of that is internal because it needs to be a personal confidence. And I think, at least for me, part of what I saw last night was not external, but rather now 3 years worth of me going, ooh, I am who I am. And that was, that was beautiful in itself. So thank you for that question. I appreciate that. I want to ask you a question too. So, let's talk about the surgery first. How long did it take? Because I know that there was some duration here.
So the surgery itself took about 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours. And so it totally changes what you have done. So I had a double deviated septum. So like breathing for me was a little harder. So it was a perfect opportunity to work on that. And so that means they have to like go and crack some stuff. It's common that they will do a whole bunch of things. So they helped with my hair just a little bit, so you can see like a little bit of a scar that's healing. Yeah, and that takes up to a year to heal. So there's a little bit of physical after effects. Like I had a lot of bruising and stuff. I'm still having a little bit of a vision problem, so it's not immediately like fixed. So there's a duration to this before, during, and after. The prep work was a lot of work because I had to get sign-offs from medical people and there's an average rate now across the country of 18 months from start to finish. Oh my gosh. And just to be seen, the consultation is 3 to 6 months. And then the wait period after that is about a year, right? So, it's pretty crazy right now. So if it's something someone's considering, I'd say get in and see as many doctors for consultations as you can. And make sure that they take your insurance first if you can. If not, like what you did was going to Thailand was probably a great idea because it's a lot cheaper than here. Like the surgery I had could easily be about $80,000. But with insurance, it's a lot less. But then there's a lot more. It's just to get it covered, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And like if you live in a place where like Washington State actually has mandates that all insurance carriers have to have support for gender affirming care.
Yes. Yeah.
Pretty cool. I think Colorado does too, right?
Yes. Well, it is, for what it's worth, it's on the, I don't know if that has passed just yet. Okay. It may or may not, but as far as I know, it's supposed to go into effect. Yeah. I can't remember if it was completely passed, if it passed the
the House.
the state government. So, but
You know, go ahead.
Drace asks the question too. Drace asks the question: is it due to increased demand, or is it due to decreased available medical services? I think that's a good question.
There's actually websites I know that will go state by state, and if not, they'll try to match you up with insurance that's in your area. Like, this is a tricky thing right now. There are clinics that will also offer a non-insurance rate, and sometimes they'll have I forget what's called, like a mercy rate or something like that, where it's a discounted rate for people that have low income or no income. And then sometimes you can get referrals through clinics that have that sort of support. Obviously, in certain areas, there's nothing, right?
Oops, sorry, didn't mean to show
That's
that.
okay.
I'm trying to get rid of the person.
And I think we've all, like, I had problems with my insurance, and I know you did too, right?
Yeah, that's why I went to Thailand.
Yeah, I think doing your homework early and finding doctors that are good. And there's a lot of websites. So how do you evaluate that? That was a
Right.
really hard problem for me. Like, also, if you want surgeries, which ones do you get in which order? I think it boiled down for me, like, which ones would make me the most comfortable being around people the soonest. And so, and do I have a whole bunch at the same time? Do I break them apart? If so, what sort of healing time in between? And that it was hard to find a source for that information, right? Because a lot of people have their own experience, but they don't explain why or how they got there, right? I know it's top surgery and facial stuff is common to have together. Yeah, it just
That seems like it would be really difficult to do all at once, but
some people have. I know for certain people it's hard to go under, right? So
true, very
if you have
true.
red hair.
Yeah. If you have red hair, wait, what? I'm not. Is that true?
Yeah, it's a real. So when I was married, she had problems with anesthesia, and
oh my gosh.
Yeah, like, and she'd wake up and have problems. So it's typical in people with like red hair, especially, to have problems with anesthesia and wake up early or require different amounts.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm seeing Margie is going. Margie, I'm sorry if this is, if this isn't working for you. Understood. And wish you the best. We're going to. We'll be cutting out on this in just a moment. I do have something from Squeak as well, who says that they're pretty sure the law that you mentioned, Morgan, passed in Colorado. Awesome. I know I did a Transgender Joy about it, and I'm trying to remember if it had. I thought it was just on the just a bill, but Squeak is saying pretty sure it did. My parents had gender affirming care in Colorado and Denver last summer, so good. Thanks, Squeak. Thanks for that. Update. Very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Morgan, I want to take a break pretty soon. I want to end up asking you. I just got one question. I can make this answer as long as you want it to be. Are you happy with the results?
Yes, and I wasn't at first. I couldn't see. My face is swollen up. I'm like, did I do the right thing? I have a little metal plate in my head. I wasn't sure about that. Like a little piece of titanium like that big. I can tell you a lot about it now. But having gone through like the first couple weeks and it's really gross when you take your first shower and stuff like that afterwards. And, but all of it fails in comparison to the joy that you can have in being you and seeing you and then getting gendered more correctly. Living authentically is just really learning to love yourself. And loving how you show up, like that little peek in the mirror that you just had last night, right? It's kind of like I get that. I love being affirmed. It's fun, but it shouldn't just have to do with other people. I should affirm myself. But sometimes it's hard when you deal with a lot of stress. But when you catch a little glimpse in your mirror, like, oh wait, that's really cool, or I love that, or someone, you're in there like, hey ladies, or whatever. That's really fucking affirming. Sorry.
It
I don't know
is.
if you can do that.
It's fine. I dropped an F-bomb earlier, so it's cool.
It,
That's good.
I would say if it's something that you're thinking about, it's pretty cool if you have the insurance to do it.
Yeah, agreed.
And we're really good at little, so you may not think like your logical brain's like, wait, I can't see a difference. But that little subconscious part of your brain, the feeling of greater affirmations and stuff like that of yourself, but really people notice little differences sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so
I agree.
And we're really good at generalizing like that's a feminine, that's a masculine trait or whatever. There's little things you do for yourself sometimes pay off in other ways. Mm-hmm. So, but they're not required, right? So
No, and I'm glad you brought that up. The idea that you have to have surgery in order to be like a real transgender woman or something. I agree. That's false. Completely false. All right. I'm good. So Brenda's saying, oh, you can read, but Brenda says, thank you. It's enlightening to hear from someone who's been there. I'm gonna go ahead and take a break. I do want to say, Morgan, I think it's been 5 or 6 weeks since you got surgery. Is that right? Are we up to 6 weeks now?
July 1st.
About 6 weeks. Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, 6 weeks. Thank you very much for having not just the courage to talk about it, because that's pretty important, but also to endure jerks who are gonna say things like weirdo in a chat.
I embrace my weirdness. I think it's awesome. So thanks for noticing.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. I mean, we'll dump the guy, but what's the point here? So there you go. All right. Well, so thank you so much. I'm going to give you the big heart there that I give you.
Yeah, I can't do the new little ones that are like this or however.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard that's what boys do. So I'm like, well, screw. Oh, yeah, that one's tough too. I can't do that one well, but that's fine.
So,
all right. Well, thank you again, Morgan, and by all means, hang out. If you want to, just.
Cool.
I'm going to take a break. So
thank you for having me on, and thanks everybody.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you again.